Thank you for listening to the Welcome Matt podcast. I'm your host, Matt Caldwell. I'm joined here today by Michael Maratis.
Yes, I'm your guest, Mike Maratis.
Mike, how are you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing great, man. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm
Thanks
happy.
For having me.
I am totally pumped to have you here. So we're going to play some games here today. The Welcome Matt podcast, it's a place for people to swing by and play some conversation games. We're going to get to those in a minute, but I just wanted to talk to Mike here for a little while. Now, one thing I've noticed about you like to check out different venues for stand-up. You like to do a lot of different shows and hit a lot of different areas. I know you went to New York, and lately you were telling me you went down to Washington.
Yeah, I got to do a show down in Washington, a great show called the Dirty Laundry Show, Draft House Comedy. And the host, the producer of the show, were happy to have me on. And after taking a little break from stand-up and doing a set away from home and doing well, it was very great. Good feeling doing stand up outside of the country. You know?
Get outside of your comfort zone, get to see a new audience and a fresh feel. What was your impression about Washington in general?
It was really cool, except I was down there right before the election happened, so I believe it was the night.
Oh, that thing, yes.
Yeah. The day we were leaving was the night of their final debates, and it was scary, man. We were going to a restaurant, and it was like every venue we passed that had a TV inside, everybody was just stone quiet and all staring one direction. It was like Night of the Living Dead.
It's like a moment of silence for their hopes and dreams.
It was frightening. Every single place packed to the brim. No one talking to each other.
The brim? The brim was full that day.
Yeah, and they had another bar called The Hat. That was full.
The Brim and the Hat?
The Brim and the Hat. They're down the block from each other. But
yes.
Yeah. Full tilt. Full to the tilts.
Full tilted. So what are your hopes for stand-up going forward? What do you hope to accomplish?
Well, I'm really excited this year. You know, I made some comedy resolutions. One of them's getting back in the scene hard and, reconnecting with some friends of mine and seeing old faces and meeting some new ones. Yeah. And a big thing for me is I'm really excited to finish, my goal is to finish my screenplay by the end of the year. And have also an edit of it done as well, because, you can't just write things once.
No, for first draft, I'm pretty sure that's how Stephen King did
Complete,
it. First, wake up in the middle of the night and write a 400-page novel that wins the Pulitzer. Is Pulitzer, right? That is the prize that you get for that?
A prize of Pulitzing.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like a sandwich, too. I'll get the Pulitzer, please?
Yeah, I'll get the Club Pulitzer.
Yeah. Oh, it's a club. Yes.
I mean, why
it's an elusive club to be in. All right, we're on the Welcome Matt podcast. Mike Maratis is here. We're going to play some games after this. We're on the Welcome Matt podcast. I am your host, Matt Caldwell, here with Mike Maratis.
Hello.
And we're going to play some games now. The first game that we're going to play is called Wanna Be IMDb. It's where I give the guest the option of choosing any show that's on TV now or even in the past that they can be a character on. So they get to join, they could be on The Big Bang Theory, that wonderful show. They could be on Alf, maybe a character in The Sopranos. So I give the guest the option of choosing any show. And Mike Maratis, you have chosen
The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead. I'm excited to talk about The Walking Dead. There could be some spoilers if you aren't up to date. Season 7, Episode 8. We may reference some stuff that's going on this season. So if you haven't seen it, just skip ahead to the next game and listen to that one. So tell me a little bit about your character on this show.
Well, Matt, I think a lot about my character would really just be a lot like me, I mean, I think that would just be, with a show like this, everyone's just regular people, right? So I don't know why I'd want to be a different regular guy when I can just be my old regular self.
You would just play yourself.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I think I would get along with Rick. I mean, Daryl maybe would need to warm up to me.
So you see yourself in Alexandria?
Well, that would be the hopes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, they seem to have a little bit of problems right now. I don't know if they would notice, because they used to recruit people. Maybe if I just slunk in there and just pretended I was always there.
I was just an extra in the background. I just happened to live in the house down the street.
Yeah, and I survived all that crazy stuff that happened when you guys failed at a lot of things.
I totally helped clear out all the walkers there, and
right next to you.
That emotional thing where Rick tries to take on like 3,000.
Yep.
All right, so you see yourself in Alexandria. What are your roles in the community?
I think my main role would be entertainment. They have no entertainment, Matt. Maybe that's why people are so sad there.
Yeah, Eugene would be the closest that they have to like a comedic character, but that's kind of...
Are they laughing with Eugene or at Eugene?
I'd like to think a third option.
Laughing for Eugene.
Yes.
Because he cries a lot lately. It's not as much laughing happening.
I keep hoping that Eugene is going to like stand up and like, because Abraham was so important to his survival and such a close friend. I would like to see him like really push forward, and I think that's going to happen with that character.
Oh, absolutely.
So what characters in this show would you interact with? So you're in.
Yeah, I'm
Walking Dead.
I mean, he's not in Alexandria at the moment, but Jesus, I think, would be a fun one to get along with. Mm-hmm. Learning some of the kung fu, and the martial arts that he's
a sneaky man.
He's a sneaky feller.
Sneaky peek.
I like it. I like him. He's a good character. And I know it's against popular opinion, but if I had the choice, I mean, I may defect and go see what Negan's all about.
Yeah?
I mean,
check on the other side.
He seems somewhat fair. I mean, he's done some horrible things already out the gate, but
I think if you followed that character way back, and because Rick has done some horrible things as well.
He had the decency of killing their friends in front of them, not in their sleep when they're having just nice sweet dreams.
Dropped in some Ambien that they found in like a dentist office or whatever, wherever Ambien is kept nowadays.
I guess, maybe in the Ambien factories.
So your role in this show now is the humor.
I would feel so. Like I would do like an open mic so other people can get up there, and maybe
a variety show.
Yeah, I guess we'd hold it in a church. With Gabriel, that's where they seem to hold a lot of their meetings. It has a stage. It would be good. People need that. We could reenact movies. You can get a few townsfolk in it. Do like almost community theater.
That would be smart.
I think it would relieve some stress if Negan came by. Maybe distract him with some entertainment. Maybe he's not as much willing to take all of the good stuff.
There is no TV anymore, so
none.
And okay, this is going a little meta, but what TV show would you would you put on in the Walking Dead world?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I think you would have to go like safe, friendly, like I think Friends, like sitcom type stuff. Scrubs, if you could. More a little lighthearted, but has some real in it sometimes. I mean, you don't want it to be funny all the time.
Yeah.
But I guess sitcoms would be a good choice for reenact, but it would be hard to remember all the scripts. But I guess that's where you can embellish, write things that maybe Ross doesn't end up with Rachel, who knows?
Oh,
who knows? It's your world now, baby.
It is. I kind of picture you in The Life of Pi, maybe, with Ezekiel's tiger.
Yeah.
I think you could pull that off.
Yeah, I could do that for sure. I've always wanted a tiger.
So how do you survive in this zombie walker-infested world?
Very easy. I'm not one to get distracted or let a slow-walking walker bite me. So the zombies aren't going to be an issue for me. It will be the real people.
How would you interact with Rick? Because his word is kind of what goes. Well, Negan's word at the moment, but... Yeah. So, what would a conversation with Rick be like?
I guess it would depend. Again, I mean, he hasn't really met me yet. I'm convincing him I've always been there. So maybe I would bring up some like, hey, Rick, remember those old times when you were just covered in blood in the middle of the street acting like a crazy man? And man, we're so glad you're here now. That's you just changed so much.
And how would he respond to that?
He'd probably just look at me and just be like, what did you just say to me? I'd be like, I was just trying to pay you a compliment, Mr. Grimes. You've done a lot for this community, and your son, the half of it he can see, I imagine he's super appreciative of it.
It's like, yeah, thank you. You know, I'm not a leader. I didn't choose to be a leader.
No, you were thrusted into it.
Yeah, you were, Mr. Grimes. You were thrusted right into it, much like Shane thrusted into your wife.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, late wife. Now late wife.
Yes. Let's not forget.
Yeah. The show's
been better, though.
He made a little cry a little bit after if I said that. I don't know.
Lori.
You know, and do that thing.
that thing.
Oh,
that thing where he grieves.
Yeah. His grieving sad face.
Yeah.
Where he always says Lori or Carl when he cries.
Yeah. He's got to say a name.
It's his crying cue.
Yeah.
Lori. Carl.
Judith.
Yeah,
baby Judith.
Yeah.
Daryl, Michonne.
I suppose one thing we haven't really talked about in The Walking Dead is what is your view of Negan?
See, I'm a big fan of the comic world as well. I read the books. So I'm a huge fan of Negan, personally. I know, again, he's done some crass things, but let me tell you, Negan is one of those guys you don't want to completely see not succeed, if that makes sense. He's like Wolverine and Sabretooth, you know? You don't want to see Wolverine completely kill Sabretooth, because then you'll lose that amazing dynamic that, you know? So Rick and Negan are like that. You want to see them fighting forever.
Yeah. And how would your character interact with Negan?
I would probably provoke the ideas of them to try to keep fighting. I would be against them killing Negan if they ever got to that point. I would go the Morgan stance and be like, we shouldn't take this life. We're better. We're better than him.
Get a big Donatello stick.
Secretly on the inside. I mean, I just really want him to live because he's just such a good character.
All right, so that was What If Mike was a member of the Walking Dead cast on Wannabe IMDb.
Yeah.
We're back on the welcome mat with Mike Maratis.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. And we're going to play a little game now called Cartoon World. It's where the guest gets to choose any cartoon character that they could be, but in our world. So what if you were Homer Simpson? Or what if you were a member of the Ninja Turtles? The guest today, Mike, he has chosen to be Rick Sanchez. So what if Rick Sanchez was a member of our Earth?
Well, Maddie, I was showing my grandson Morty here the different Earth dimensions that exist around us. This happens to be Earth dimension A123. You're one of the first Earths, but you're not as caught up as some of the other ones there, Maddie. You need some vast improvements.
In what areas?
Well, major area, first off, you guys, I know you're Canadian, but they elected a reality TV show guy for the president of the United States of America. I think that's really out there.
Yeah, so what Canadian comic or actor do you think could be or reality star could be our prime minister?
Well, I don't know about any of your Canadian comic or actors there, Maddie. But on my Earth dimension, we have a Canadian comic actor named James Carey, and he's quite a character there, Maddie.
We have something similar to that here.
You have something similar here.
Yeah. He did The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Liar Liar. What are some of the movies that he's been in your dimension?
He did Stupid and Stupider. In my dimension, he did he did Truth. It sounds vastly different from what that Liar Liar movie you were talking about there. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your Morty. No Rick exists without a Morty. So what does your Morty do here?
Well, let me tell you something, Matt. My Morty seems to be goddamn useless as of late.
Oh, jeez, Rick. You know, you dragged me here to do this podcast with you. I don't even know what podcasts are. Okay, like on our world, we don't have shows where people listen to talking. They usually watch that kind of stuff on TV.
Yeah, Morty, this planet, like I said, is rather primitive. People will listen to interviews, and I guess also watch them if the host is slightly better looking. But I know more about pods than I do about casts, Morty. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah. So tell me, why have you visited Earth? Was it 124? Earth 124?
A123.
A123.
It was your Earth dimension there, Maddie. Like I said, I was just bringing my grandson Morty on a different adventure. We're here because this Earth dimension is apparently the only one that you guys manufacture this illegal thing called crack cocaine.
Wow, we have the monopoly on crack.
Yeah, I happen to need it for an experiment, but it's not important right now. I really don't need to talk about it in front of my grandson.
Yeah, Rick, you kept saying it's for an experiment, but you've been drinking all this way here, and I'm starting to think it's just more for you.
Morty, you're jumping to conclusions there. Just don't question my science, Morty. Don't question me. Don't question me again.
That was Mike Maratis. What if he was Rick Sanchez, but in our Earth? We're back on the welcome mat. I am joined by Mike Maratis.
Hello.
The next game we're going to play today is How It Isn't Made. It's where the guest gives step-by-step complete instructions of how something isn't made. And what he chose from the hat today is a bullet.
Ooh, I pulled a bullet.
Yeah. So how isn't a bullet made?
Well, Maddie, there's two ways a bullet isn't made. One is the factory way, but I'm going to tell the fine folks listening at home the home method of making bullets.
A do-it-yourself bullet.
Do-it-yourself bullet. So what you need is a fancy executive metal ballpoint pen.
Does it matter the color?
No, I mean that doesn't really matter. It's gonna act as a casing, right? So you also need a saw, right? You need a vice grip.
Okay.
Right. You don't need gunpowder necessarily for this. What I find,
that must be a myth.
Yeah. No. Well, the gunpowder again is just the igniter. Right? So what I find is if you just get a bunch of those mini Bic lighters, you need like 3 or 4 of them. That should
you can buy that in a pack, like one pack, like $2.99. You get 3 of them, yeah.
Absolutely, right? You get all that stuff together. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the executive ballpoint pen and you're going to measure about an inch from the bottom of it to where an inch stops.
Okay,
you're
gonna need a ruler.
Yeah, you're gonna need a ruler. I guess I should have mentioned you need a ruler.
You need a ruler.
Alrighty, so you're gonna unscrew the pen, take out the insides. You don't need the ink and the little springy in there or whatever. And then you're gonna saw at that inch mark there. So once you do that,
that's clever.
Yep, exactly. So this is where it gets a little tricky. Okay, so you're gonna take that bottom casing, and I forgot you're gonna need a little bit of plastic wrap, just so you know. So you're going to take the lighters and you're going to put them in the vice grips and you're going to carefully, this is dangerous. Kids, you want to do this with parental supervision. Okay?
Yeah, and the parents would need their parents there. I mean, you
absolutely.
need 3 generations of family to make this bullet.
That's how dangerous this could be.
What are you going to use it for? It must be for revenge.
One of them. I mean, revenge or vengeance would be
both very good things.
2 options I would recommend. So once you have to basically plant the lighter in the vice grip, and you're going to saw right underneath the metal piece at the top. So you're cutting it open, but it's going to be right side up, so none of the goodness in the inside of the lighter spills out.
Oh,
right?
That's where the goodness is.
Yeah. So once you do that to all 4 lighters, you're going to take the end of the ballpoint pen and you're gonna pack it full of the saran wrap, so it's almost like a bag on the inside of the pen, and then you're gonna funnel in, or just pour it directly in from the lighter, all the fluid that's inside the 4 lighters.
And what do they call that fluid? What is the name of that?
I believe it's called lighter fluid, Matthew, is the technical term.
Okay, so they name it based on what's inside of it.
Yeah, which is weird because we don't have human fluid in us.
No, I wish.
I wish we
were just
fluidy. There's names for all our fluids.
Yeah.
We don't need to get into those.
Some of them are wet.
I'm talking about making bullets here.
Yeah.
So once you fill up the pen, the bottom of the pen there, and you put it in, then you're gonna have to create a little plug. Now, what I like doing is I like chewing up a little bit of gum.
Oh.
I find spearmint or peppermint.
The flavor?
would be,
Spearmint,
yeah, I mean, it makes a
peppermint?
difference.
Yeah.
It makes a difference.
Yeah.
And you're going to pack that into the top there,
Mm-hmm.
right? So now you got the makings of a bullet, but you got to load it into something.
Oh.
You got to load it into something to shoot it right there, man.
Slingshot, maybe?
I was thinking a slingshot. I've tried that, but unfortunately for me and my cat, it didn't work.
That's how I get a cat out of a tree.
Yeah. Well, you see, it sent my cat up a tree, and sadly, it never came back down.
Well, that's kind of heartbreaking, but it's just a cat.
It's just a cat I've had since childhood. It's fine. It miraculously lived
only
for
childhood, right?
For 29 years. So I mean, like straight through birth to now.
I mean, how do you make a cat, really?
I mean, it's similar to making a bullet, like how
Yeah.
I just explained. But what do you load it into, Maddie? I'm gonna explain it to you right now.
Yeah, you got to do that.
You take a potato and you're gonna hollow out a little core inside this potato, and then you're gonna plug your little pen cap bullet right in that hole in the
Ooh,
potato.
I'm going to
okay?
use a sweet potato.
Oh yeah, sweeter the better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then it's more of like a direct contact bullet, but with the potato, you can get some range. You're gonna hurl it much like a football because it's got a
Laces out.
and it's got a hit on the point where the pen is. And the starch in the potato is actually what activates
Oh, wow.
the lighter fluid, as we said technically
Yeah,
before.
I think these were the weapons during World War I.
It was very similar, and that's why they had many stale potatoes in World War II.
Yeah.
But then the bullet will project out of the potato, and not only killing your target, it gets so hot projecting out of the potato, you got yourself a delicious baked potato afterward.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You get a lunch and a murder.
I call it the BPB, the baked potato bullet.
Wow. You should definitely patent that.
Yeah. It's I have a quick video on Taste Made.
I say make a slow video, like a slow cooked baked
Yeah.
bullet potato.
Yeah, like a 14-hour long
Yep.
video.
Throw that in the oven.
I will.
And just
Change
people
my
are
life.
gonna buy into this.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it isn't made, Mike Maratis. How a bullet isn't made. Before we go here on the Welcome Mat, I'm happy that Mike can do some impressions. I believe you do a good Christopher Walken.
Wow. Matt, I didn't expect such a good compliment from you there. It's good. I'm glad to be here. I'm psyched.
I picture you as a good connoisseur of good food and good culture for some reason. I get that impression from you. So tell me, what is the last meal you had?
My last meal, it was something simple. Just some tomato soup, Matt. You put a little black pepper in it, a little bit of bread, maybe a goldfish cracker here and there, and you got yourself a full meal.
You know, Mr. Walken, you really are a hero for a lot of people, but heroes are all the rage nowadays. Like, there's this one hero in Hell's Kitchen, I believe. Daredevil is somebody that a lot of people are looking up to.
I don't consider myself a hero, Matt. By the way, I really like your name. It's just like mine.
Yeah, very similar.
You know, Matt, I'm actually a lawyer. I'm a public defender now, I guess. I guess I'm an actual defender now, too, with my new show coming out.
Well, yeah, you actually defended the city against the Punisher, somebody who's very, both-sided, you root for him at the same time. So what do you hope for the Punisher going forward?
Well, Matt, Frank Castle, he's a damaged man, but he's just trying to do what he thinks is best for the city.
Speaking of what's worst for the city, Fisk, he's in prison now. Do you think he has any plans of getting out?
I guess I can answer my own question for you there, Matt.
Oh, yes, please grace us with your presence.
Yes, we shall ignore the son of a boxer that you just had in here. The prison, it's already mine. I've bought it. I've claimed it. I am the kingpin wherever I go.
So you have good pillows?
Yes, Vanessa, she won't tolerate anything else other than great pillows, Matthew.
And what do you use for artwork on your walls?
I like my walls to be plain stucco white. They remind me of my father.
Are you counting down the days to get out? And what are your plans for when that finally happens?
Well, Matthew, any prisoner will explain to you there's only 2 days you do in prison. The day you get in and the day you get out.
Well, you know, somebody who put a lot of people in prison is Jack Bauer. I think Jack Bauer would have an interesting opinion about the Russian hacks and...
Yeah, Matt, well, I've dealt a lot with the Russians before on several day-to-day basis. I only do things in a one-day type fashion.
Yeah, just a day at a time, season at a time. All right, another person famous for espionage and sneaking in and killing people, and Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, kept you waiting, huh? You know, Matt, the reason I'm so good at hiding is because I always have a cardboard box with me. And I have Otacon.
That's 2 very good reasons right there. Cardboard box. Is there a specific type of electronic, maybe a fridge or a stove? What is your preferred box?
Large produce boxes, Matt. They're the ones primarily I get right under.
All right, that was the welcome, Matt. This week, our guest was Mike Maratis. I want to say thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
That it has.